Year 1897. The Russian ship Demeter, with an international crew on board, sails from Bulgaria to London. Among other cargo, the ship is transporting a suspicious wooden crate. During the voyage, the crate breaks open, and the sailors discover inside an emaciated girl. Clemens, an Afro-American doctor and astronomer, tries to save the girl by giving her a blood transfusion. It won't be long, though, before all crew members start experiencing blood problems. Why? Because there was another creature lying in the crate, and it was none other than Dracula himself. Count Dracula's story has been told and retold for decades, with Bram Stoker's literary classic brought to the screen tens of times. Plus, there are dozens more of Dracula-inspired films and TV series. Realizing that the audiences must be fed up with almost identical interpretations of the renowned story, filmmakers started looking for out-of-the-box solutions. In the early 2023, we saw Renfield, A Tale of Dracula's Loyal Aide. The Last Voyage of the Demeter is the latest Dracula-themed film to date. Although this project has in works for nearly 2 decades, the creators took a small fragment from the Dracula novel, which talks about Dracula sailing to London, and expanded it into a feature-length horror. Apart from the names, time, place and the well-known vampirism transmission method, The Last Voyage of the Demeter has little to do with the original Dracula story and vibe. If anything, it has more in common with films like Alien. It's a claustrophobic horror that follows a group of people trapped on board the ship. They can't escape a hungry and merciless monster who is bleeding them dry one by one. If instead of the dried-up vampire, the ship's cargo hold was a hiding place for a xenomorph, predator or the reptilians from the Nibiru planet, the plot would barely change. The film was directed by a Norwegian André Ovredal, whose filmography includes such ingenious horrors as Trollhunter and The Autopsy of Jane Doe. Ovredal seems to know exactly what he's doing. Actually, he's winking at the audience and sending them signals. The name of the film's protagonist is Clemens, just like the character played by Charles Dance in Alien 3. Plus, both these characters are doctors. Coincidence? We don't think so. It's more likely the director's way of saying that The Last Voyage of the Demeter is by no means a serious, full-scale adaptation, but rather an entertaining variation, a quest inspired by the iconic novel. This is exactly how you should be watching this movie, without trying to dissect the plot with its overblown runtime, without focusing on hollow dialogues, and without paying attention to obsolete special effects. But what will be left of the film if we ignore all that, you may wonder? Well, the movie can boast a thick, gloomy vibe of a gothic horror, realistic makeup and settings, good casting, and a plot that keeps you engaged. So far, this year has been surprisingly rich in unoriginal, yet overall enjoyable horrors. Over the last couple of months, we saw the release of The Boogeyman and Cobweb, 2 other projects that are similar to The Last Voyage of the Demeter in their entertainment potential. Cobweb and The Last Voyage, by the way, share the same budding actor, Woody Norman, who is playing a small, yet memorable role of the captain's son in the latter film.